Hello, good evening, and welcome to From Behind the Score. We're super excited to bring this showcase of brand new compositions from the Codarts composition department. We have a lineup of 9 new works for you today, and in between each piece, we're going to be having a short conversation with the composer. Also, if you are interested in giving some questions, thoughts, feedback, we can discuss those. You can leave them as a comment in the Facebook event, and I'll have a look at those in between, and then you'll be able to ask yourself questions for the composers. So hopefully it'll be a nice interactive show. The first piece is by Mafalda Silva, and it is with the Erasmus Quartet. We hope you enjoy. Hello. Good evening again, in case you're just joining us. Just checking that that we're all on live here. Are we on live with the microphone? Hello. Yeah, great. So this was the Erasmus Quartet. I think they played absolutely wonderfully. Mafalda, would you like to join me? I have my phone here just in case anyone, in case anyone would like to leave a comment in the Facebook group from behind the score. I'll just keep refreshing it to see. If you'd like to stand on this line. So as you can see, we're incredibly live here, so we're going to have lots of things going on in the background. It's very much from behind the scenes as well as from behind the score. Would you like to introduce yourself for everyone who's watching?
Hi, I'm Mafalda. I'm 18 years old. I'm a first-year student, composition student here at Codarts. And yeah, I think that's it.
Fantastic. Oh, and who's your teacher?
Hans Kolms.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Great. And what did you think hearing your piece performed?
It was very nice. I didn't hear it yet, so it's a new piece.
Oh wow, wonderful.
It's the first time, so it was very nice. Thank you to the Erasmus Quartet.
Yeah, they played really wonderfully, and you really took us on a sort of journey of colors and also a bit like techniques as well. What can you give us a bit of an insight into your kind of process?
So the piece has some sort of two parts, as you can see. So the first part is more like energetic and fast rhythms and notation, and very vigorous. And then at some point of the piece, you kind of lost yourself, and it's a completely different world. So it's more like, it's a different atmosphere. It's more like contemplative and more open, and more in a color sense of the thing. So, and it's like, for me, I see this piece as if we are in some sort of path, and then we all can walk to nothing. Like, it's nothing in the end. It's just an abyss or something.
Okay, so you see it as quite a dark transition?
Yeah, I don't know if dark is the best word, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sudden, so yeah.
And did you find that it sort of just appeared as you were composing this kind of form, or do you think of it more like, did you plan the whole structure, or did it just kind of appear as you were experimenting with sounds?
Sort of. I planned something, but in the end, it wasn't like what I planned in the beginning. But it transformed itself. So.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, like now that you've heard it, would you consider like continuing to work on it? Do you feel it's finished, or what do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's finished.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And what are you working on then going forward? Are you working on any new pieces now?
Yeah, now I'm working on a saxophone quartet, also a quartet.
Okay,
so
great. For like classical saxophone players, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck this year, and
Thank
welcome
you.
as well.
Thank you.
It's great to hear your music.
Thank you.
Maybe another round of applause would be nice.
Thank you.
Bravo. So I don't see any comments yet, so we will, for now, continue. I don't think I see anything. Not yet. Feel free, don't be shy. Any thoughts or questions, then on the Facebook page you can add it. Composers, if you're watching, or composing teachers, and you have a comment, you can also at me. I have my phone here. So up next, we have a piece by composer David Albulescu. Is he here? Yeah. And we have Nina Kunzel and Sio Fang to play. Welcome to the stage.
that you bewitched me into bed and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. I think I made you up inside my head. Got apples from the sky, hell's fire fate, exit seraphim, and Satan's men. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I fancied you'd return the way you said, but I grow old and I forget your name. I think I made you up inside my head. I should have loved a thunderbird instead. At least when spring comes, they roar back again. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I think I made you inside my head.
Hello again, and that was, I'm going to stand on this side. That was Mad Girl's Love Song by David Albulescu, who is here. Would you like to join me? And Nina Kunzel and Sio Fang on piano. Beautiful performance. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is From Behind the Score, a platform for new music at Codarts by Codarts performers and students. Nina, who you just heard, is actually an alumni. If you wouldn't mind just standing on that line. Very good. Thank you. David, would you like to introduce yourself for those who are watching and for our audience here?
Yeah, sure. So I'm David. I'm a classical composer. I studied pop music composition in the past, but now I moved to some other subjects, so kind of broadening my areas. So I'm trying classical now. So this is very new and interesting to me. So I'm studying here with Hans Kulmes, and I'm in second year bachelor.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, welcome back for your second year.
Thanks.
It's really, really nice to hear your music, and it was. Sorry, there's going to be things going on in the background during the interview. It had quite a lot of emotion and expression. What was your starting point? It was a poem, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a poem by Sylvia Plath, and my idea was to pay tribute to the classical form, because nowadays we are looking forward to the contemporary world. But I was thinking maybe let's do something for the past, so we have a glance into the past and we appreciate what happened before. So I
Yes.
try to bring this into our attention.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And what made you choose this particular poem?
Well, I really like poetry in general, but sometimes I just read them over and over again. So this one caught my attention because I was kind of struggling with a lot of neurotic emotions. So this was the perfect fit for that landscape, let's say.
Right. So you kind of felt like you related to what was happening in the poem the most at that time.
Yeah, let's say with
Okay.
the mood and
Mood.
the colors in the painting. Yeah.
And you written for this kind of ensemble before with voice and piano duo?
Yeah, this is the first time actually.
Okay.
I mean, I wrote before, but it was not performed.
Okay. Okay. And how did you feel? Did you have any? What was your sort of process with composing this time? How did you the text and rhythm or the expression? Or
I chose chords and then the text. It was more like songwriting, and then I arranged it in a classical way, let's say.
okay.
That was the process.
Great. So actually, you used your skills as like your pop background.
Exactly, but in a new way. So
Okay.
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I suppose Hans was really happy to work with you on like how to create this link.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And do you consider this piece to be finished, or is it a part of a a longer series of works?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
think it's part of a series, and this is the first piece, and it will go on. So let's say 4 or 5 short pieces like this in a cycle.
Okay, great. And have you already chosen your poems?
Well, no, not right now because I have a lot on my mind. But yeah,
So will you choose the poems in the same way, like approaching them from how you're feeling?
yeah,
or-
exactly. So
Yeah.
it depends on how I feel tomorrow, and then I
Yeah.
choose a poem.
And they'll all be for duo, like voice and piano?
Probably, and maybe electronics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you worked with electronics before in your pop music?
Yeah, I will celebrate 10 years of electronics next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Amazing. And so you're also working with Renee as well, of course.
Yes.
Okay, great.
He's teaching me a lot of stuff.
Oh, wonderful. Really nice. And yeah, how do you feel about seeing this piece performed live? Did you
I love
enjoy
it.
You loved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you,
It was
guys.
really
It
beautiful.
was amazing.
They're sitting over there.
Yeah.
It was really a beautiful performance. So I'm not sure. Let me just check. Maybe someone wrote something. Everyone's a bit shy online today. It's so nice to be able to present new work with even a small audience. It's such a sort of surreal and beautiful thing. So yeah, thank you for being part of the series. And hopefully the composers will get involved in making this happen as time goes on, and it will become really you guys leading it, and that would be amazing. And you can already do it. We've had Asim and Yi-Luen helping out. So yeah, really looking forward to the rest of the music tonight. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
and,
guys. Thanks for
the
inviting me.
piece.
Yeah.
Thank you. And another round of applause, I think, for David.
Thanks.
So how are we doing? Do you need a little bit more time? Okay. We're just waiting for a few more technical checks for the next piece. It's by composer Viktor Velthuis, who is presenting Aztec. The Aztec death ritual. So yeah, we'll see how it feels soon. We're just checking some last things. We're all good? And you're all good, Victor? You need a minute? Fantastic. Hope you enjoy. This is Viktor Velthuis and Elif Yozgur on the flute. Thank you. This was the Aztec death ritual. Victor, your microphone is just there. So as you can see, it's very live here. We're changing over everything in between. We have 9 premieres tonight, so it's quite ambitious and exciting. Welcome, Victor.
Hello.
If you'd like to stand on just behind that
Just
line.
behind you.
That's great.
Okay. No, I think it's okay.
Okay. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, good
Or
evening.
you've been here already. Thank you very much for your performance. And for Elif as well. She was beautiful. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Viktor Velthuis. I'm a composer from the Netherlands, and I've done my bachelor here at Codarts, and now I'm doing my master here. And I think it's a great school. I enjoy it very much here. So
Wonderful. And if you just hold your microphone a little bit closer, and then we
Little
can
bit,
definitely hear
yes.
you. That's great.
it's so
Thank
heavy.
you.
So that's yeah.
So you're in your final year right now.
No, I'm in my first year
First
of
year
the
of
of the master.
Oh, the
yes.
masters. Of
Yes.
course. I'm sorry. Yeah. So how do you feel? How does it feel to start such a research journey as well?
It feels nice. It feels you have a lot more freedom than in the bachelor. Of course, you have a lot more free time. And yeah, of course, things are weird right now with coronavirus.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a little bit difficult because I have to travel from The Hague.
Okay.
But as you organize this right now, for example, and everyone here, which is really wonderful. It's really sorry, I have to talk in the microphone. It's a really nice concert, right? So it's
really
it's still
super.
going on. So
Yes.
despite everything, so it's very nice. That's
Yeah.
very lucky. I feel like.
Yeah, thank you for acknowledging it. I mean, I guess that we're really just as excited as you are to be putting something that's live onto the stage. I think that that's really special and important for composers and performers.
Yeah.
To have that energy and the feeling of giving something tangible, you know?
It's one of the biggest impetuses, inspirations to write and to do and to see it performed. Otherwise, it stays in your computer or in your head. It's not quite the same thing. So.
No, exactly. And so tell us a bit about this piece you just performed with Elif.
Yeah. Well, first of all, huge shout out to Elif for doing it so wonderfully.
Yes.
It's part of my. I'm writing an opera right now about
exciting.
the Aztecs,
Okay.
and this is more of a study for that work, as part of that work, and in this case, it's supposed to symbolize the transformation to another era of the Aztecs. They had different eras in the suns and everything.
Oh, yes.
So, but it also transforms at the end to a moment that is uncertain. So there's a feeling of, maybe a feeling of where are we going to, or where is this leading to?
Yes.
And
Wow. And for the opera overall, like, do you feel is it going to be like different solo instruments with electronics for scenes, or do you have an idea for instrumentation already?
yeah, the pan flute is definitely going to play a big role, and not just the normal pan flute, but also the contrabass pan flute, which is this giant contraption.
Yes.
It's very soft, but when you amplify it with electronics, it sounds amazing.
Wow, yes.
So that's one of the instruments that will play a large role.
Okay, and I hope you don't mind me asking, I'm very curious, why Aztecs particularly? Have you always been fascinated by them?
No, there's something recent that for 2 or 3 years now that I'm interested in the Aztecs, in this separate society, that civilization that came to maturity completely independent of ours.
Yes.
And there's a lot of art and a lot of beauty in there, and of course a lot of ceremonial things that might seem very strange to us, but we're very logical to them, like sacrifice. And one of the things you hear in the piece, I don't know how well I brought it out now, but it's you hear this screaming, and that's actually an instrument by the Aztecs. It's a death whistle, so it's a skull that you blow on, and it makes this sound of a person dying.
Wow.
And they would use this in rituals and possibly in war. So a lot of men would be running towards their enemy with all these skulls on their necks and blowing it, and would have been very impressive. So.
Wow. And also terrifying.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the intention. Yes.
Wow. So, do you feel like the opera is meant to give a sort of warning or something, or what's your sort of
the opera is would give a warning about I'm going to try to draw a parallel with certain political events today. I'm thinking of America especially, but but it's also a human look at the Aztecs. So I think they're a beautiful culture, and I think we've been very disrespectful to that culture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're really looking forward to seeing how that goes, and we really enjoyed it. Well, I really enjoyed it. And I hope everyone did at home too. If anyone is curious or has a question, again, they can go on to the Facebook group. But for now, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you very much to Viktor and Elif for their performance. Thank you. We can have a round of applause. So up next we have a trio performance, and this is by Carmel Freeman, and it is called Lag, and the performers will come to the stage now. again. Are we good? Hey, welcome back. I'm here with Carmel now. Thank you very much for your performance and
Thank you.
great performance to the trio. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It was it was a very captivating performance. Carmel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am a first-year master's student here, and yeah,
And who are you studying with?
I'm studying with Robin DeRaff.
Robin. Great, great.
and
And
Renee.
so you're sorry, you said you're a first year in bachelor's or master's?
Master's.
Okay, great. So you're beginning this 2-year kind of intensive journey of research as well, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Great, great.
Yeah.
And is this piece something you've been working on for a while, or is it relatively new?
No, I wrote it kind of quickly when the COVID thing started, and suddenly everything was on Zoom, and we were subject to the lag that Zoom forces upon us. So I was kind of thinking about that, and also thinking about just the whole thing was very disorienting for me, and I felt a sort of lag with the rest of the world.
Yes.
So, yeah, I wrote it. I didn't think it would ever get played, and then this came up, and
Hey.
yeah.
And it's still in this time. I mean, I guess we have to acknowledge that we're still sort of in the time, and it's not it's not solved yet. But we're trying to find ways to make it possible to keep having works performed here at Codarts.
Yes.
And I have to add, like the small audience we have are all students, composers, or performers that are performing tonight. So we don't have any guests that are external to the event. Hopefully soon it will be possible again to have an external audience live. But for now we have this lag as well. And yeah, so the feeling that you had in your own self and with the music and everything, how do you feel that the lag translated into your composition?
So you probably heard things were happening out of sync with each other, similar phrases.
Yes.
The way that I constructed the piece, I kind of created a grammar for the piece. I came up with a mode.
Yes.
So all the instruments are playing the same notes in the same registers, or deriving their phrases from the same mode. And that's kind of like the grammar, and I imagine them having a conversation with each other, but out of sync.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was the process of learning the piece with the ensemble? Did you get to meet very many times, I guess?
Yeah, they were really great and up for rehearsing, and
Nice.
yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, it's really great to be able to present this like live music.
Yeah, and rehearsing with people and just being around people was super nice.
Right. I think we all feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really happy, and they're all very talented. So
Yeah.
it was very fun to work with them.
It was a wonderful performance, and we enjoyed it, and we look forward to hearing more of your music soon.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing and being part of this edition of
Thank
From Behind
you.
the Score.
Yeah.
And now we'll move to the next piece. Thank you very much to
Thank you.
Carmel Freeman. So yes, up next we have a solo piano piece by Zygmunt. He's up now, and we'll have a conversation with him after. just one moment. We're searching for we have these individual covers. Can anyone see one?
Yeah.
It's to be safe. We have these covers. Everybody gets a different one, and they should keep them for life, basically. But they get misplaced sometimes, etc. So yeah, thank you so much for your performance. Bravo. Wow, you've been busy this evening.
Yeah, that's true. You also.
True.
Yeah, that's a lot of things to set up a concert like that. That's true.
Yes, and we saw you perform in the trio as a cellist, and then now your own composition as a pianist. Maybe you'd like to introduce yourself. It sounds like you have a few titles.
Yeah, my name is Jan Zygmunt, which is a funny thing because Zygmunt is also a name if we're talking about the titles. So I have a couple of names, and I play a couple of instruments also. I'm a cellist. I'm sort of a pianist, but if I write for the piano and I perform it myself, I try for it to be quite easy for some reason. Yeah, and I also play the bass guitar. Worked in a big band for quite a while, and yeah, that's the thing.
Great, and you're a student here at Codarts. So are you just starting your first year?
Yeah, that's my first year in masters. And because of Corona, it's pretty weird because you get to meet no one. So I'm super happy that all of you are today in here. And a funny thing is that a lot of the composers that I study on the same year with and in the same department, I see them for the first time today. Yes. So they look very different than from what they look like on Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and as a previous composing student, I can say this: like, you don't often see masters composer students anyway. They're sort of a rare breed. They kind of come out sometimes during artistic research deadlines, and you see them more like by the printers, like desperately waiting. So yeah, I mean, it's really great to have this kind of event because you see each other's work and everything like this. How do you feel about the performance? What was so this piece was called Entropy that you just heard. Maybe you'd like to talk a bit about your inspiration for the piece?
Well, long story short, entropy is a way of measuring chaos and of measuring randomness. But this is a pretty complicated thermodynamical process, and I'm a musician, so I'm not too good in thermodynamics for a couple of reasons, but yeah, I guess it's an extremely interesting thing to look on that yourself. And from what I have talked with a couple of my friends about that, everyone understands it differently, even though it's quite mathematical. Yeah, that's an interesting phenomena.
Yes.
Entropy.
Yeah, indeed, and often those sorts of things are great starting points for creative ideas because you can explore them. And do you feel like this is a start of something, maybe another piece?
Perhaps.
Similar?
We'll see.
Yeah.
My artistic research plans are a bit different, but perhaps it's going to evolve into something.
Great.
Then.
Well, I enjoyed it, and also the prepared piano. That was nothing dangerous in the piano, just one small sheet of tinfoil. So just in case anyone was worried, it's fine, completely fine. So yeah, and that we removed that now, so it's a fine piano again. So maybe one more thing. What are you most looking forward to again when everything stops with this shutdown?
I mostly look forward to performing again. Yeah. That's the thing. It's really fun to do it. I mean, that's the essence of pure joy to perform, but that's also a load of stress and a load of work.
Well,
so yeah,
it balances out, I think.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for all your support as well. He's one of the people backstage today, so thank you, and big round of applause.
You.
Thanks. Thank you. Yes, so up next we have a piece performed by the Composers Ensemble, which are brought together to learn about all sorts of things, including open scores and improvisation with Josue Amador. And the students from the composing department will be performing a piece by Adriaan Lips called 140 Straight. Hello, hello, everyone. Good evening. In case you're just joining us, this is From Behind the Score, bringing new compositions from Codarts to you at home and also to a couple of composing students here. Oh, your microphone, Adriaan, is just there. Yes. So this was a piece 140 straight by Adriaan Lips. This is Adriaan. Hey, hi, welcome. Thank you very much for bringing this piece. It was great. A lot of fun. We were dancing, like a lot of us were just dancing back there. So do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Adriaan Lips. I'm a first year jazz composition in the Bachelor. I did preliminary year last year, so that's why maybe some people have already seen my face.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm in first year now.
Fantastic, and welcome then to the Bachelor. You said Bachelors, right? Amazing. And this ensemble that everyone is a composer, you work together every week or so, is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we come together to do lessons in improvisation, and yeah, so when I wrote this, everybody was really into it, and then somebody proposed, or I think it was Cosway, who said, hey, maybe you can perform this for Behind the Score.
Yeah.
And then the last few lessons we did were just dedicated to rehearsals for this piece.
Nice. And what did you find? How was this notated? Do you use normal notation or some graphic scores or?
I mean, can the video show it?
We can try. We can try and put it up to the camera. Let's see if it works. I don't know. Does that work, Ruben? If we hold something up to the camera, will they be able to see it at home? Let's try it. It's
Is this close enough? I don't know. Oh, okay.
This is an experimental moment for us all.
As you can see, there's a couple blocks with certain sort of rhythmic notes on it, and the idea is that everybody plays one of those blocks, so you get sort of a continuous flow of different rhythms that all play through each other, and all these patterns are just sort of coinciding, and we just wanted to have just an entire texture that just changes, and then it ends.
Great, and how was it to learn this piece? Thank you, Ruben, for showing us that score. So using your voice in a composition using your voice in a composition is not always that easy. How did you get through did you do some warming up together with voice, or has everybody singing all the time, or what's the like?
So what we did was we didn't do like exactly warming up stuff. We probably should have in hindsight, but I mean we did pay a lot of attention to like, okay, how do we create like an actual dynamic, because a big problem in the beginning was when we were just doing body percussion was that it was very flat dynamically, so it became quite stale to listen to. But what we noticed when we tried to do it with voice is that just by nature, because it is easier to coordinate the brain to do rhythmic things with voice alone, you just kind of get a more dynamic movement of the rhythmic pattern specifically by nature without having to write anything down. So that's why we ended up doing that.
Great. And do you think you'll try some more pieces like this in the future?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe combine it with some different elements as well, because this was pure rhythmical. Maybe I can do something more tonal in the future. I don't know. I'm open.
Really cool. Well, I really enjoyed the performance. And again, in case no one heard in the performance, we were all dancing and stuff back here. We were like, woo! It was really nice. Thank you again for sharing the piece, and we hope more pieces from the Composers Ensemble make its way into the next From Behind the Score too. So
absolutely.
And thank you, and let's give him a big hand. And the Composers Ensemble also. What do we have next? So next we have a piece by Elaine Hung, who's here also, and it's a string quartet called The Path to Truth. It's the first movement, There Was a Boy. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have more music to come. So, but thank you. This was I'm sorry. I will read your names. Yes. Excuse me one moment. Sorry. It's not here either. Is there one? Apologies. This was Lera Sebes Garcia, Julia Filon, Rayan Estrofes Rey, and Belen Ruiz Vega. They played beautifully. Thank you very much. Again. So yeah, it's worth noting that all things that are live, there are always unexpected elements. In the previous composition, we perhaps could have taken a little bit more distance, and we were aware of that, and we hope that everyone at home knows that we're taking extra care with distancing in our work behind the scenes and on camera. So yes, we know about it, and yeah, so we'll carry on. Elaine, would you like to join me? A really great thing, actually, that came from behind the score was we wrote an email to the chamber music department. Going forward, and we just said any string quartets would like to learn a new piece, a new composition, and 2 quartets wrote back almost immediately. So it was really amazing to have such a great response for learning new music and performing each other's work. It's like a real community spirit. So special thanks to those quartets today that performed, the Erasmus Quartet and the quartet you just heard. So, and here's the composer, Elaine Hung. Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Yi-Luen Hong, and Elaine is my English name. And I'm now studying composition in Codarts. I'm second master student.
Yes.
And yeah. And
and your teacher? Who's your teacher?
Yeah, yes. My teacher is Hans Komis.
Yes.
And I learned lots from him, like instrumentations.
Yes.
Really inspiring.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I could feel you were trying different colors in the quartet, and I wonder, like, what's your? I see that it's movement 1, so you have a whole quartet in process right now.
Yes, yeah, there are still 3 more movements. I hope I can finish before my graduation.
Yeah, it's an ambitious thing to write like an entire quartet. And I see that it was the title for the quartet is The Path to Truth.
Yes.
Wow, it's a powerful title.
Really, I didn't
expect
that to be so powerful.
Well, it feels like it's a lot to think about. What was your inspiration for your direction for this?
Yeah, my inspiration is to talk about a story of a boy, and he likes to explore new things in nature.
Yes.
And that's what I mean in truth.
Yes.
Like scientists looks for things in our world, and
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Okay, so it's like a sort of like a road to like discovery, like learning, or do you mean that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's more like finding something we don't know yet in our life.
Okay, so it's like discovery then,
Yes.
in a way. Oh,
Mhm.
wow, nice. And this was like the first movement of that. So were they just starting off and
Yeah,
searching?
Just start.
and how's it going with it? Are you working on it already? The next part of it?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. Like there will be some fighting between the false if there's truth, then there will be a counterpart of false. So I hope I can present this story to like in future to everyone.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining us for this series, and yeah, looking forward to hearing your full quartet soon, and best of luck with writing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and yeah, big round of applause for Elaine.
Thank you.
Thank you. So up next we have a saxophone quartet, so a slightly different instrumentation than we've heard. You can come in, guys. Welcome. And this is a piece by Rafail Christofi, who will be conducting, and it is called Rough Playground. Very much. Thank you very, very much. This is Dan Kluwer, Cosimo Gentili, Nicolas Bazojevic, and Sergio Fontcuberta. I'm really great to hear you play. And thank you so much for coming all the way to Krausplein, guys. Cheers. Cheers, thank you so much. Yeah, our special guests from the VMDC, the jazz department. So, super thank you. Okay, they went. Hey, Rafail. How are you?
Oof, good.
Yeah, well, nicely conducted, and really enjoyed your piece. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Rafail Christofi. I'm from Cyprus. I'm 20 years old. This is my second year bachelor in classical composition. My main course teacher is Robin Daraf, who I hope got my message and is watching. This is Raf Playground. I composed it last year during my groove-related composition subject with Frizo.
Oh, excellent. So, like about grooves, right?
Well, yeah. The point of the assignment was to introduce groove in your piece using something less convenient, like I don't know, drums, like normally. And another like purpose of writing this piece is like to write something to try to write something not that serious, because things I've wrote before were very serious and dark.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe I should get checked. But and it started as a motive that was stuck in my head for the last month that I started writing this.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I'm gonna do something only with that motive and start writing to see what is gonna come out.
Yes.
And the idea was to, let's say, see in the piece growing like multiple childhoods, like from very young, like to, let's say, adult.
Okay.
That's the rough playground.
Okay, so like coming of age kind of thing, going through.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like one person, it's like multiple at the same time.
Okay. Like a generation, perhaps, like a whole group of people, or like a family, or.
Depends who's listening.
Okay, nice. And how about you? How did you feel about the process? How was it learning with these musicians? Because they came from the jazz department, so it was a different group.
It's the first time that, well, this is the first time that I've even wrote or presented this piece, a piece more than 2 instruments.
Oh, excellent! Congratulations.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever conducted,
Wow.
or I've done like rehearsals that I'm there for support and counting and everything. So it was very, very, very educational.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's what we love. Learning on the job is something that we do really well at Codarts.
Well, next time I will prefer to learn before the job.
Yeah.
But
Understood.
Yeah, it was great. Also, it was about catching up in their world, because I'm a classical composer and they're jazz players. So I went to them, and a lot of things were very different.
Yes.
And there was a lot of work because as a musical leader through these rehearsals, you have to say the exact right thing on the exact perfect spot.
Yes.
And it's a lot of stress.
Okay, so the kind of communication of the score, which is the device that the composer communicates to musicians through, like that did you have to adjust, or did you find a way to change your communication?
There were some adjustments, but like here and there, maybe like an octave down, or like mostly an octave down.
Okay, yeah.
But like 1 or 2 places, I didn't want to like rewrite the piece, because the piece is what it is. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
But luckily I got these 4 great guys.
Yeah.
They were really, really helpful, always very on time and decent, and thanks to them a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And thanks to you, by the way, for.
Oh, you're very welcome.
getting me in touch.
It's really our joy to like help to put stuff on, and we're hoping that that with a bit of help, everyone can kind of join in and make it sort of a group effort as we go through Yeah, and a big thanks to all the ensembles because they pretty much got in touch straight away. So these guys as well, they were immediately done. Was immediately like, yeah, like I can get some guys together to play the piece, and so it's really nice to collaborate across like not only musicians at classical but also in jazz. So this is a do you think you'll write again for saxophone quartet?
Maybe, yeah. I was thinking of actually arranging this piece for a different ensemble and maybe expanding it, like to make it like a series.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. When I'm writing something, I'm putting it on a, let's say, shelf of revising and another shelf of maybe reusing or changing.
Yeah.
And I like to do that a lot, and it worked until now. So yeah, who knows?
Great, and we saw you also performing in the piece by Adriaan. How was it for you, this piece, to perform? Did you enjoy it?
Oof, very fun.
Yeah.
Very, very, very fun. I like performing with the composers ensemble actually.
Yeah.
Because it feels very close. It's us.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's just a kind of safe space to try out things and then eventually put it into a performance sometimes. So that's really cool. One moment, I'm just going to check how we're doing. How are we doing? Okay. Well, once again, big thank you for presenting your work tonight.
Thank you.
And this was Rafail Christofi, and his quartet played Rough Playground. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, welcome to the stage, Sophia Price, double bassist. And we have, this is our last piece of the evening by Asim Halwarvi. It's a piece for double bass and electronics, live electronics, and it is called I Found a Double Bass in My Kitchen. We hope you enjoy. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Sophia. That was Sophia Price on the double bass and crackers. Welcome, Asim. Wow.
Thank you.
Do you have your cover?
Oh, yes. Can you just,
sorry, safety first. In case you tuned in late, this is From Behind the Score, a platform for composers to share their music and for performers to have a go at these brand new pieces that have never been heard before. So I don't know, maybe this exact set of techniques have never been heard in that precise order before, I think.
It's my first time as well.
Nice.
To experiment with these standard techniques on the bass. Yeah, it's been fun.
Great. Well, would you like to introduce yourself, Asim?
Yes, I am Asim. I am from India. I study composition in the bachelor's program. I'm in between the third and the fourth year because I'm also doing my research now. Yeah, and I like to work with electroacoustic music.
Fantastic. Yeah, because you changed into predominantly electronic music.
Yes, so I study with Renee.
Excellent.
As my main subject, electronic composition.
Yes.
Also get acoustic composition lessons from Hans.
Okay, wonderful. Nice combination.
Yes.
So what about this piece then? I found a double bass in my kitchen. Tell us a bit more about it.
Okay. So at the beginning of September, I wanted to write a piece for String Quartet. And I was just sketching, and my flatmate just came. I was in the dining room, so my flatmate came and sat next to me. And he started eating his crackers. And I heard that sound. He was like right next to me. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I can make that on a bass. And then I needed a bass for my piece. I'm like, okay, screw this. I'm just going to write a piece for solo double bass. And maybe there are more sounds that I would like to use from my kitchen or something to do with eating or, So, and my research is, for now is focusing on how can I use sounds in my context as compositional material. Yes. So it was a good practice for me to make different recordings in my kitchen of like metal pan, spoons, eating crackers, chopping onions, and create different textures and musically use that material as for the composition.
Yeah, fantastic. And so out of curiosity, do you also love being in the kitchen? Do you like cooking and things as well?
I love cooking. I am, among the students, I'm famous for my Indian spices and dishes that I make. So, it all came together.
Fascinating. and also, like, I mean, have you ever considered combining them, like, so you can, like, have food while hearing sounds of food? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I also worked on a separate piece for a project in which I had to record some sounds of eating and sipping. So, I made a piece where I made my friend eat carrots and celery and chips and nachos and sip hot coffee and these kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, do you have more in store? Is your plan to create more like sort of food-based?
No, I don't want to specialize in food-based music, but this was the piece for now. But I'd like to work on more pieces where I make recordings and I combine them with instruments in some way and make electroacoustic works.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And how was it working with Sophia? Like, I guess that it was quite is there improvisation involved in the score?
It's fully improvised. It's if I could show you the score.
You could give it a go. Yeah, we do need that. Does someone have a phone? Do you have a phone with a flash we could borrow?
I mean, it's been amazing working with Sophia. She has been a co-composer in this piece as well, because she has been sharing a lot of ideas. That is a score. I drew these symbols for her and placed them and timed them, like so when she's going to play what. Each symbol means a gesture on the double bass. And these gestures, it was difficult to notate traditionally, so I just made symbols graphically. And she is, each symbol means something on the bass, so she's playing these gestures and imitating sounds of some kitchen stuff on the bass.
Okay, nice. And did she feel like excited about doing something theatrical on stage as well? With
Yes, it was my first time, and I think maybe for Sophie as well. We were a bit nervous. We were a bit nervous of how she's gonna move on the stage and eat, and what character she needs to be in while eating a cracker. You could feel shy, you could feel mischievous, you could feel anything, and like, no, you know what, be shameless.
Yeah.
Just eat, make that sound, that's what we want.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting because we had a lot of improvisation, long hour sessions, just making artistic decisions of how this sound should be made, how this should be done, and every moment was fixed. So bravo to her for really being so dedicated in this whole process. It really helps for me as a composer.
Yeah, and also then you have this sort of partnership where the piece wouldn't exist in the same way without Sophia, without the musician.
Of course.
So this exchange is really...
yes, because the player always knows the physicality of playing the instrument.
Yeah.
So they can always give something more than what a composer knows, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that has been useful because I would be like, can you make this sound? And she'd be like, yeah, but I can also do this.
Yes.
Like, that's more interesting, let's do that, So these kind of decisions only happen when you collaborate and you improvise together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so, and it was really, at the end of such a program, it was interesting to have something a bit theatrical and a bit different. So thank you so much for joining us. And also, thank you for all your help behind the scenes. Asim has been part of the team as well for that production, assisting. So thank you.
Thank you.
So that's about it, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, even if it was just for a short while or for the whole thing. If so, well done. You're a marathon new music lover. Thank you. We appreciate it. Massive thank you to all the performers, to all of the composers as well, and especially large thank you for all the people in the technical team that have been behind the camera, also from behind the camera, this event. So, yeah, thank you so much, and good night, everyone. Good night.